Hi there, little lady. What can I get for you?
Well, what I'm looking for is not on your menu.
Well, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for a fresh episode of Garden Time.
As it is, we have a fresh episode on tap right here.
Welcome to Garden Time. We're at French Prairie Gardens, where they don't have garden shows on tap, but they do have 8 delicious ciders and beers.
And later on in the show, we're going to be talking to Katie about how you too can taste those great varieties of ciders and beers, but also watch the eclipse.
Also coming up in the show today, we'll be talking about rain barrels for your garden.
But first, we are going to visit the Lily Festival. So I am standing out close to Forest Grove, and we're in what really is a Christmas tree farm, but then there's some changes that happened a few years ago. I'm here with Ken, who's the owner. And Ken, how did you make a leap from Christmas trees to lilies?
Well, I started mainly as a hobby and to promote the tree farm, and it's always been my passion, and it just grew and developed into what we are now.
So it's really worked well for you, because at this time of year, you actually now, not only do you have an amazing display garden of so many varieties, but you also sell them, don't you?
Yes, we do.
So what is it that you think really makes lilies look like the ones you have here? Because these are stunning.
Well, a lot of TLC. I do a lot of virus control, throw away the dead ones.
And what does that mean? I mean, how do you know it has a virus?
There's not very many here, but what they do is they develop a spotting on the leaf. They're like a brown spot. That's a virus that they get infected with.
And so you just throw those out.
Throw them away.
Yeah, there's no hope for them.
No cure, no.
And what about, I mean, these clearly are in full sun.
Yes.
So they like that.
They actually do better in afternoon shade.
Really?
Yeah. Early or morning sun to afternoon shade is where they really shine.
And what are some, because I see a lot of lilies here, but there's so many different types of lilies, not only in varieties. You don't just carry Oriental lilies, you have several.
Yeah, there's actually 9 different classifications, and we carry every one but one. And there's fragrant, non-fragrant, tall, short, medium height. And
so when people talk to you about lilies, what are some of the big questions that you hear over and over again?
Well, the biggest question, I'm not making fun of anybody, but the biggest question is, what do I do after, or when the bloom is spent, or how far do I cut it back for my bouquet? And it's pretty elementary. They're just like roses. The farther down you go, the more sugar you develop in the bulbs, so you get bigger bulbs.
Oh, okay.
Or you can cut them short and leave them for more bulblets that come out of the plant.
So like that one's done blooming.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going down pretty far.
Yeah, well, we cut them off down here because we want to develop the bulb size for sales, internet sales, and next year. But most of the time I tell people cut them about 4 inches, about like that, and then discard the spent bloom.
And then you would just leave that to photosynthesize, get energy in the bulb for the next year.
And build more bulblets.
Yeah, interesting. Now, you also decided to have a lily festival.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we got overstocked. You know how Google develops their algorithms, and they change every year, every couple of years. And I had like 8,000, 10,000 bulbs to sell, and I was on generic page 1, and they changed their algorithms, so my organic page ranking slipped down. And I didn't know what to do.
You thought, let's have a festival.
Yeah, so I said, well, let's try a festival.
So what's happening at this festival besides beautiful lilies?
It's exploding.
Cool.
The business is really good, and people love the lilies that we have and see that they're well taken care of.
And so many varieties. My goodness, there's a lot. So when they come out to this festival, which goes through the first week weekend of August?
It starts the second weekend of July to the first weekend of August.
And so it's not just lilies. There's other things happening here, though.
Yeah, we have a really nice barbecue and free wine tasting from Schaefer Vineyards.
Nice.
Which is about 3 miles from
And
here.
I have to say, a view that will knock your socks off. An absolutely beautiful view out here.
Yeah.
So you also, people can come in, actually buy lilies that are growing or order for the future.
That's correct.
Nice.
For planting next spring.
Well, it really is worth a trip. It's a beautiful setting. They're fun people, and you can get some lilies that'll beautify your own home and garden. For more information, you can always go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website. Ken, really a pleasure.
Thank you very much for coming out.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
You deserve the best, so at Capital Subaru, we make sure you're getting the best experience at every touch point. Award-winning customer service, a wide selection of new Subarus to choose from, 2 years complimentary service on all new vehicles, and perks you'll only find at Capital Subaru. Start your next adventure on the Parkway.
Capital Subaru's summer sales event is on. Make no payments for 120 days on new Subarus, like the 2017 Subaru Forester 2.5i, now $21,818.
Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
Fiberon. Deck it right the first time.
Do you have a leaning or broken fence? Fix a broken fence with ease. Made in Oregon, the sturdy fence post bracket can mend your drooping fence. Strong winds, falling debris, dry rot, and wayward drivers can all cause havoc on your once sturdy fence. Our sturdy bracket attaches to your existing fence and is easily installed in 30 minutes. Limit waste, materials, and save money by fixing your existing fence. Purchase online at sturdfence.com or visit participating Par Lumber and Pro Build stores.
Well, I am at the lovely Oregon Garden today, and they have art in the garden for the next several weeks. And so I'm with artist Tyler Brumfield. And Tyler, I just love your pieces here.
Thanks.
It's really an interesting kind of mix of metal and wood, but what does it mean to you?
Yeah, so my inspiration for the pieces, I was thinking about plant life, or flowers, trees, what have you. And I was thinking about how a lot of times when humans make things, like houses, tables, whatever, they take a material from nature and enact their vision upon it, a design, whatever plan they have for it, and then that thing ends up back in nature. And so I see that a lot in this material that I used on the bottom, which is called oriented strand board. And it's basically ground up trees or bark, and it's pressed together with heat and pressure and then introduced back into nature. Oh. And so what interested me about that was kind of that exchange between man and nature and taking something from nature and bringing it back in, and what happens to it after that. Yeah.
So when you do come to the garden, this is one of the pieces that you will see here, material exchange. Well, now we're going to go to another part of the garden and talk to another artist. Thank you.
No problem.
Well, now I'm with another artist with a totally different medium. So I'm with Judy Kunkel, and Judy, these are wonderful. So glasswork is what your medium is.
I love glass, and I love antique windows. I feel like there's so much history in them that I like to incorporate both things together.
That is so nice. So you do use some recycled pieces then?
I try to, when I do my flowers, I add the centers or either dessert plates or votive holders or crystal coasters, and I incorporate the design into the center of the flowers.
Oh, beautiful. So where do you get your inspiration? Are you a gardener that you have these flowers all over your backyard?
I have flowers, but I'm not really a gardener, and they just kind of come to me. I start working on a window, and I'll think, what do I feel like? What comes to me, and it's just kind of inspiration. So
That is really lovely. And the one behind us is a dahlia. So have you ever been to the dahlia fields?
I have, and that's what the name of it is, dahlia,
Oh, it's
Canby
beautiful.
dahlia. I live near Canby, and so I'm very inspired by the Canby dahlias.
Oh, that is a beautiful place to go.
It is beautiful.
And then I saw some other pieces, and you call them your whimsies. So tell us about those.
Those are my pieces, garden art that I find basically everything's recycled on them. It's recycled vases or bottles or wine bottles or liquor bottles, and there's so much beauty and people just throw them away. So I find different toppers for them and I add them together and create a garden stake.
Oh, they are so pretty, and the light coming through them is just wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Really pretty. Well, now I'm going to go talk to Sarah about all the information that you could learn about this wonderful art in the garden at the Oregon Garden. Well, now I'm talking with Sarah, and Sarah, I see that we're surrounded by glass flowers, so another
right.
artist pieces.
Yeah, these pieces are made by Lauren Wingert, one of our artists this summer.
And so we've met 3 different artists' products, and then how many more are there?
There are 5 more. We have 8 artists this summer.
And then when we come to the garden, is that all the artists to see that is free with admission?
That's right, yeah. You just pay your admission through our visitor center and you get a map that will direct you to where all of the art is throughout the garden.
And then how long is that lasting for?
Our last day for Art in the Garden is September 30th.
And I know people are going to want to have this in their own garden, so how does that happen?
Yeah, you can purchase, all of the art here is for sale, so you can purchase it, and if you just ask the folks at our visitor center, they can hook you up with the connection to purchase the art.
Oh, well, you have to come out to the Oregon Garden. It's always beautiful anyway, but now the art in the garden is even more beautiful for your visit here. So please go to gardentime.tv. We'll click over to their website. You can find out all about the artists and all the hours and everything to come out to the garden with your family and friends and really check it out this summer. Thanks so much, Sarah. It's lovely.
Thank you.
I'm at French Prairie Gardens today, and Katie, we always come out here. There's something fun going on, and we have glasses, so something's going on in August.
That's correct. It's the total eclipse here in Oregon,
right.
so we're going to celebrate it here on the farm with some camping starting on August 19th through the 21st, which is the eclipse day.
Oh, wow. So really, you can have the whole party and then have the crowning time on the eclipse day.
That's correct. And for those of you that don't have time to camp on the farm, we are just doing a day pass. I would suggest you get here by 7. But we are doing a little brunch and a little tractor wagon ride out to one of our growing fields, bring blankets, and we're just going to enjoy the eclipse together.
So if I'm going to be camping, can I bring my camper? Should I bring a tent? And how does that work?
You can bring either. We're doing RV sites and campsites. This is all dry camping. So, and we'll have a cooked tent, and we also have dinners for those of you that don't want to cook and want us to cook for you.
I think that's a great idea because I can just bring all my gear, but you do the cooking.
That's
I love
correct.
that idea. I think that's a great idea.
Yes, and we also have lots of things to do here for the kiddos. We have our slides, our animals, lots of farm fun to do during those days so the kids aren't just sitting around.
That is nice. And then there's probably campfires at night.
That's correct. Campfires, there'll be s'mores packages, you name it, we have it.
Oh, that is good. And now you have something new going on all summer, not just the eclipse. So what's going on then?
That's correct. It's called our Farm Days of Summer, and so that kicked off this weekend, and it's every day that we're open, Tuesday through Sunday, 11 to 4, and so it's just a little farm fun. Come and be in the slides, do the tires, obstacle course, farm animals, and just have a little slice of farm life.
Of country living.
Yes.
You know, it is really nice to come out here. It's not out of the hustle bustle,
That's correct.
out of traffic. You get to just relax. The kids get to run around. The adults get to sit, maybe have a beverage.
That's correct, yes, and we also have happy hour on the weekends, so we have some food menus on the weekends, but our farm bar is always open, and we have milkshakes and pastries and those things available daily.
Yeah, you know, that is such a great idea. And then there's pretty flowers, pretty plants to
yes.
kind of take home because you still need things for your garden or your deck.
Oh, that's correct. A lot of people have lost things, and we still have hanging baskets available and you name it, great color spots and perennials, so just a great time here.
So, you know, there's many opportunities to come out here and have a great time. You can come out for the Eclipse Day and go to the website and you can sign up for that. Maybe make sure that you get your reservation in because it's filling up fast.
That's correct.
Or you can come out for farm days. Come out for just the day and enjoy time with your family and friends and just have a slice of a country day. Well, thanks so much. It's lovely.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Hi, I'm Sarah with Portland Nursery, and I'd like to invite you to check out our website,
where you'll find valuable gardening information that you know is local to our area. Check out our Gardening Solutions page, where you'll find over 100 helpful brochures, or sign up for our email newsletter to receive timely gardening advice, inventory updates, and upcoming classes and events. Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people, on 50th and Stark, 90th and Division.
Enjoy a summer of art and color. Visit the Oregon Garden for Art in the Garden now through September 30th. See outstanding and inspired art that represents both traditional and modern styles, carefully placed throughout the garden. See the combination of beautiful plants and great art as you stroll the gardens. Just pick up your map at the Visitor Center on your next visit. For details on Art in the Garden and a schedule of all our summer events, go to OregonGarden.org.
A destination farm and garden market featuring the very best each season has to offer. Smith Berry Barn offers seasonal farm fresh fruits and vegetables and specialty herbs and perennials. Visit the historic barn for distinctive gifts, gourmet foods, and homemade milkshakes. Right now we have fresh picked or pick your own berries ready in our fields. Here's what we have to offer this week. Centrally located off of Shoals Ferry Road between Sherwood and Hillsborough, Smith Berry Barn, growing good taste from the ground up.
So I am here with Josh again, and Josh, you are from Northwest Outdoor Living and Renovation, right?
That's correct.
And you're the ones really doing all of this really difficult work to put in this new patio. We came in and saw what it was like when you were taking it out and what that involved. Tell me what's going on here, because it's not just a one-time little thing that's easy.
Sure. So when we were here last time, we were just starting to do the tear out. We were pulling all the old cedar, all the rotted cedar out, making sure that nothing in the house was rotted, that everything was going to be a good adequate surface to attach to. At this point, you can see we've just about made it look like a deck again. We've got all the footings in, the beams, the framing.
And let me say, by footings, because before, when they tore it out, there were literally footings, which is what I call footings.
Sure.
These were a big drill down. You poured concrete around the main.
Absolutely.
That's a sturdy footing.
Yeah, so a lot of people with a ground level deck, in this case, because of how low it is to the ground, permits are not required. A lot of people, when they build a deck, just use little precast concrete footing blocks.
Right, and that's what they had here before.
Absolutely. So with that, typically speaking, just like what we saw out here when we were doing the tear out, they were just sitting right on the dirt.
Right.
They weren't getting below the frost line. They were on the top surface of the dirt. In Oregon here, we do get occasional issues with the snow, but even more importantly, the top surface of the ground gets extremely wet when we have a moist year like this year. And then you've got to be concerned about things settling, corners of the decks dropping. We actually saw that in this project when we tore it apart. When we cut part of the deck out, it collapsed a few inches down to the ground.
And I suspect that a lot of us, if not all of us, at some time have walked on a patio or a deck and it kind of bounces. I say it's like the Crystal Ballroom downtown in Portland. You know, you feel that bounce. That's really not good. That's not going to happen here, is it?
Absolutely not. So you can see we've got a big auger out here. We dug down at least 18 to 24 inches into the ground. We poured multiple bags of concrete into it. We've got heavy duty 6x6 CV66 brackets set into the ground, bolted into 6-inch beams, not just little 4-inch beams. So it's going to be very solid. It's going to be very stable. The end goal is that when you walk out onto this deck, it's not a concrete patio, but we want it to feel as stable as a concrete patio.
You want to feel the security there.
Absolutely. You can see that one of the things that we've done as well is the old deck was built 24 inches on center, which is standard for a cedar deck. But again, it does allow for some sponginess. It's not real stout. With the new Fiberon deck that we're building, we're actually building it 12 inches on center. So we're putting a floor joist in between each of the floor joists that was here before.
And you know, Josh, that makes perfect sense to me, because when you're going to go with a great product like a Fiberon product that's going to cover this, you really want it to be sturdy and stable to last the life of the Fiberon.
Absolutely.
And speaking of which, now I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to run over and talk to Derek from Fiberon about what you guys are going to be putting on top of here.
Perfect. Sounds good.
So now I'm standing here with Derek, and Derek, you are with Fiberon, which is the creator and maker of these products, right?
Yep.
So let's jump into this a little bit. I'm holding two different ones here, but you have a lot of different colors besides these two, right?
Yeah, we have many different colors, different profiles, different lines, but we've got here our top tier products being the Horizon and the Symmetry line. And we've got two different colors because we're going to be putting it together in a picture frame application, so you get a contrast of two different textures and looks.
Which I think looks always really super cool when people do that, so that's clever. But then also I like that in the patio itself, I hear that you're not going to see any of this kind of connecting because they're long enough to cover the whole thing. Is that right?
Right, exactly. So we're using longer lengths, so you're not going to see what we call butt seams or butt ends. And by running a picture frame around the border of the deck, you're actually going to complete it off, so you don't see the ends of any of the boards either.
So even on the edges of two sides, you won't see that.
Everything
You'll see
the
whole thing, which will be beautiful. And then tell me a little bit about the guarantees you have, because you have some really amazing guarantees on this stuff.
Yeah, so this deck, once it's completed, it has a 25-year stain and fade warranty, and our claim is that it's going to look the way it did the day you put it down for 25 years, and you also don't have to be concerned about the traditional things that you experience with wood, which is going to be rotting, warping, or any splinters for that matter.
And then you have a great website too, because tell me some of the things people can do when they go to it to see this stuff.
So if you go to our website, you can see all of our colors, you can see everything laid out, but we also have a deck designer tool that allows you to design a deck to the shape that you would typically use, and you can use, as we were talking about the picture frame, you can take that and build the different contrasts or whatever you would want to see on your deck with railing, lighting, etc.
And then do you also have a list on that website about where this stuff, where we can go to buy this?
Yeah, we have a list of all of our stocking dealers, and when you use our tool as well, it actually will give you a layout of all the material you need should you want to do it yourself.
Well, you know, it's not going to be very long now before Judy and I are here at the producer's house, and we're going to have fun on this deck, and we look forward to it. So if you're interested in getting a new deck and something that has some real time to it that's going to last, go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website. You can make up something yourself. Thank you so much, Derek.
Thank you.
Welcome to Blooming Junction, where it's easy to connect with nature. At Blooming Junction, you'll find beautiful, healthy plants, good, fresh food, and a place to regain peace and calm in your life. We have an unsurpassed collection of unique and distinctive plants and the expertise to help any gardener be successful. And we feature Blooming Advantage plants. Come check out Blooming Junction for an inspiring experience in the garden or in the kitchen. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens.
Our customers are looking for the most modern appliances generally, and we always seem to find that with Standard.
If we go to a big box store, they may have one or two of the manufacturers, but they don't have the full spectrum.
Any product we could think of needing for our home, we know we can find it here. If we have a specific request from a customer, we know that we can go beyond our specifications and find exactly what they're looking for.
Since 1947, we set the standard. Standard TV and appliance.
Nestled in the oaks of the Willamette Valley is a nursery that is truly exceptional. At Out in the Garden Nursery, you will find a vast array of shade plants, ornamental grasses, and hardy perennials.
Enjoy food, wine, music, and craft vendors at our Wine and Cheese in the Garden event.
We offer over 100 types of perennials. Plus, we offer the best in personal attention. Out in the Garden Nursery, where we grow great gardens one plant at a time.
So I'm standing here at Urban Farm Store, and I'm with Patrick of Grady Barrels.
Yep.
And it's rain barrels is what we're talking about here, right?
Rain barrels and rain catchment.
Okay, so let's just start right out from the beginning. I'm going to be honest. I've struggled with rain barrels because I knew that this summer they weren't going to be filled from rainwater, and I didn't have ideas about them. But you know how to use them properly, don't you?
Yeah, I've been doing it for 10 years, so I've run across a lot of different uses for these.
And they really are functional, even in the Northwest, which we really don't have droughts except summertime, every summer. But
every summer.
We got a lot of water, so you found really functional ways to utilize them, though, so let's just talk about a couple of them.
Well, for example, at my house, I water all my indoor plants year-round.
Nice.
With them.
Yeah.
My cats won't drink anything but rainwater now. I do use it to water my garden at times. all my potted plants outdoors. And in case of an emergency where the power goes out and we're on a well, I can flush my toilet.
Exactly.
With rainwater.
And then you also have great ideas like right here behind us.
Sure.
Tell me about this idea.
So we're here at the Urban Farm Store, and he has his outdoor chicken coop. Rainfall falls on this roof here, into the gutter, into the barrel. From there it goes through this hose into the automatic chicken waterer. So he's watering his chickens with the water off of the roof here, year round.
Wow. And that really, all you need for this whole thing to work is this 55, is that a 55 gallon?
55 gallon. You need a gutter, you need the 55 gallon barrel, the connection hose, and the chicken water.
And the fun thing about it is you have all kinds of ideas like this that you can come up with for people, but you also really know how to make those barrels huge and contain a lot of water with them. So let's take a little break. We'll walk over here and show some of those up, okay? Sure. Well, Patrick, clearly this is a rain barrel on steroids.
It sure is.
But you guys even do much bigger ones than this, too.
Oh, sure.
And how does that happen?
Well, usually someone has a large garden or a recreational grow or something like that where they need a very large amount of water and they don't have water rights on their property. So we come out and we do these larger systems off of large sheds so that they can have their year-round water for growing all the plants that they need.
Because ultimately you're still collecting the water off of a hard surface.
Like off of a roof surface, yes.
So that's what you're gathering up with these. And you tell me how this would work for me as a homeowner if I don't have like chickens or a lot of house plants.
Sure.
What can I use it for though?
Well, this is the exact size that I have at my house.
Oh, okay.
And I love it. It fits in a great little spot in the corner of my yard. Doesn't take up a whole lot of space. And honestly, I have a pretty large garden and I get about a month and a half of watering out of this.
Really?
Yeah. And then I hope for rain during the summer every once in a while. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
So then let's talk about what I've heard you say about daisy chaining. You could do 2 of those or like a lot of, tell me about how that would work.
Well, with the smaller rain barrels, say you have a side yard that you never use. Maybe you just push your mower through it every once in a while to get to the front yard. They're 2 feet wide. So you can take up half of that space and run them down a whole entire wall to gain capacity for a system that you want.
Wow, okay. And then you could also do 2 or 3 of them. You could daisy chain these big ones too.
If the size was right and the space was right, you could do as many of these as you wanted.
And they're really all a functional idea, but what about somebody aren't gonna look, they're not gonna like the way this looks. What do I do about that?
Well, some people don't. And a lot of times people will put them behind a rhododendron bush and we'll bring the piping over and through so you can't really see it. Other people put trellising around it and then grow vines up it.
And you're always gonna help all of the people that come to you with even that, if that's a concern, that you'll help them with that as well.
It's kind of one of my specialties is identifying the location and the space.
Because that's important.
Absolutely, it's important.
So then all of that information can come to people if they go to your website, set up an appointment, come see you, and it also lists where you sell these at different locations, right?
It does, yeah. In Portland here, there's a few different stores, and then all up and down the I-5 corridor, there's several different stores. You can go to the website anytime and look up those stores.
Well, there you have it. You know, we do care about water in the Pacific Northwest, even though we think we have so much of it. So for more information, we encourage you to go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website, get some information, and check into saving water for your own garden. Thanks so much, Patrick. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching Garden Time today, and thanks to French Prairie Gardens for letting us hang out. Hey, bartender, where's my drink?
I got it right here.
Ah, lovely.
And if you would like to enjoy some great tasting beer and come out and enjoy the solar eclipse, all you have to do is go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website for the information.
William and I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week here on Garden Time.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.